What are your initial perceptions of police officers based on your experience growing up? Well, I have grown up in East LA, but tell me something about you, Kent. You were born in East LA, but you moved around. You were in Michigan, is where you really.
Yeah, I was born in East LA, and the only experience I had with police out there was a story I heard my parents tell when I was about 7 or 8, and that was my father was arrested.
Oh, wow.
For stealing a bicycle for one of us kids for Christmas because we didn't have extra money, and that was no excuse for him to do what he did.
Yeah.
So he lost his job. He was working for the county, painting stripes and stuff like that on the road.
Yeah.
So after that, we moved back to Michigan, and there was family. And so he got plugged in there, became a paint contractor. But my experience around there was good. I had a Little League coach that was a police officer, and he was just so patient with us kids. And so always laughing, having a good time with us kids, and showing us, how to swing the bat and field the ball and stuff. So very fond memories there. Now, when I was a little bit older, my brother, well, actually, let me back up a little bit. When I was 9, my parents were fighting a lot.
Okay.
Domestic violence. So the police were called in, and I think by the neighbors because it was so rowdy, so noisy. And that experience, was good because I saw them as a protector. They were coming in to break up a fight. They were there to make sure everybody was safe. And my mother went in a mental institution. Shortly after that, my dad, he left. I haven't seen him since. That's when I was 9. 2 older brothers. We went in the foster care system after that. And my brother, probably because he didn't have a good role model as a father, he started doing B&Es, breaking an entry. And there, the police were, all over that and arresting him. And he was in juvenile. And so my experience was good as in protecting and just law enforcement. But the way my brother talked about the police officers was not good. He put them in a bad light.
Yeah.
Because he was drinking and stuff at 16, 17 years old, doing drugs. And so he was looking at them as somebody that was going to ruin his fun, come in there. So I was looking at police officers in 2 ways. One where I thought, they were good because I had a good experience in Little League baseball. And then the way my brother was painting them as always wanting to harass him, but he was usually up to no good. And if he would have went out drinking and driving and maybe taken a family out, he might have had regret, might have had, these thoughts of like, how do I forgive myself? And I think these police officers were protecting him from maybe a situation like that. So it was good.
Wow.
Yeah.
How have your views on law enforcement changed over the years then?
Well, I've had, some good and bad experience.
Yeah.
So had a bad experience in Daytona, Florida. I was just riding my bicycle. This is after I'd been very sick. I had hepatitis C, and I was like near death's door for, it seemed like a couple weeks. Yeah. And so this is like my first time getting out and exercising. The doctor said, you just need to get out and exercise. And I was watching the people there cruising the strip, drinking beer and stuff like that. And I'd already had too much to drink a couple months ago. That's probably why I was so sick. So I didn't even want to, see.
How old were you then? When
I was about 24, 25.
Okay.
And this after my time in the Navy, which I had 2 DUIs in the Navy, and
wow.
I had to run in with the police, but they were just doing their job.
Yeah.
And it was good that, they arrested me before anything bad happened.
Yeah.
But this bad scenario happened where this police officer, and I didn't know it at the time, I found out later that there was a stolen bike push going on, meaning, anybody with a bicycle, they just wanted to check and see if it was stolen or not.
Yeah.
Now me, because I left my ID in the car about a block away, I drove down to the beach, took my bike out of the trunk, and I was riding around.
Yeah.
I thought I need to get back to my car before, we had this conversation and have my ID with me. So I was just trying to get back to my car. So I had my ID on me. and he was just trying to see if my bike was stolen. And sure enough, he knocked me off my bike with his car, and
With his car?
Yeah, and I hurt myself, and so he made up a false police report, or you could say a false report,
Yeah.
saying that I was the aggressor, and that I was yelling and shaking his window like this after he knocked me off my bicycle. And so I was trying to explain to him. I said, I just need to get to my car to show you my ID. I don't have my ID on me. That's why I was trying to get down to my car, and he wasn't having it. He arrested me and threw me in, and I was on 6 months probation because of that. And it's because his report was written up in a negative light towards me being the aggressor.
Yeah.
And I think he was doing that because, if I were to say, which I did, you knocked me off my bicycle, you hurt me.
He's going to be in trouble.
He wanted me to look like I was the one that was aggressive towards him.
Yeah.
So he just made up a story. So anyways, to say, that just sort of squashed my view of police officers because that personal experience.
Absolutely.
And then, because I had a run-in after that with somebody else, and now I'm thinking, police, they're not doing their job, and okay, let me go ahead and see if they will. We had this guy arrested that was messing with me and another guy, and he wanted to settle out of court, and then the guy kept messing with me. So I came back and did something god awful to this guy. I beat him down in his driveway because he told me to leave town. And after serving my country and knowing that I have the freedom to live anywhere I want to, and he's telling me to leave town, I wasn't having it.
Yeah.
And he was just sending he was a club owner, he was just sending his bouncers after me and different things and harassing me and getting in fights with me. So I did what I did. It was wrong, definitely wrong. But I think that incident that happened with the police just sort of painted the police in a negative light.
Absolutely.
And so I was thinking that they weren't going to take care of business, so I had to take care of business on my own, which got me in a lot of trouble.
Wow.
That landed me in jail. And there I had a good experience with a sheriff that would walk through the jail, and he was very friendly, and basically telling me that I needed to, just go ahead and take the plea bargain and get out of jail and don't look back, messing with these people.
What qualities do you believe are essential for police officers to have now, to possess?
Yeah, for me, definitely integrity, honesty. Him writing up a report that just was not in line with what had happened just made me feel like, honesty is utmost.
Absolutely.
And listening, I was telling him I was injured, and, I was looking for some empathy, some sympathy, some, kindness, and he was really more concerned about, hey, how do I make this look where I'm not the bad guy type of thing.
Yeah. How important do you think communication skills are in police officers? They should be able to communicate, shouldn't they?
Yes. Yeah. I'm sure in their training, they say honesty, integrity is most important. I'm thinking, looking, now that I look back at it, I sort of look at, okay, why would he do this? Maybe he got in trouble before this, and he was on a beat that he didn't want to be on, and he was already angry. And knowing that, this is going to be something, even another demerit or something against his record, it's like, I got to clean this up. So I don't know the backstory, what was going on, but I think maybe there was something where he was angry. Something happened previously with somebody, and it could have been somebody that he's working with, somebody that, was in the public, but always trying to listen to the community and listen to the person that you're, in that dialogue with. And, if somebody's hurt, somebody's injured, instead of saying something on a report, maybe say, hey, we're going to get you over to the hospital and see if we can look after that injury.
I'm going to get into empathy because you mentioned that earlier. What role do you think empathy plays in police and people, officers, obviously, in your opinion,
Yeah.
should show some empathy.
Yeah. What I've experienced and what I've seen, in the media and everywhere else is some people going through some difficult times. Like that, I was going through a very difficult time.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just getting over being very sick
Yes.
and wasn't working, out of work.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure on me. I'm just trying to get healthy again.
Yeah.
That's my sole focus.
Yeah, yeah.
And then what transpired in just a few minutes, in 5 minutes time, it just was mind-boggling. So that empathy and knowing that people could be in a very stressful point of their life,
Yeah.
mental illness, something could be going on, that they just lost a job, had just lost a loved one, maybe just lost their health. That was my situation. I just lost my health.
Yeah.
I was near death's door just a couple weeks before that.
Yeah.
And now I'm just in a frame of mind. I didn't want to be messed with by anybody. Especially that type of scenario going down where they're doing a stolen bike push, like that's sort of bizarre.
Yeah.
My dad way back when stole a bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now here I am, this coming full circle, but
Wow.
mine wasn't a stolen bike. I
Wow.
was just out riding my bike. So yeah, interesting that I just thought of that.
Absolutely, yeah. Do you believe that diversity within police departments affects community trust? Why or why not?
I do. Thinking about diversity, obviously if somebody's raised with a certain culture,
Yes.
certain people around them, and they understand them, they know, their weaknesses, their strengths, they're exposed to that.
Yeah.
They can easily communicate with them because they've been doing that all their life. Maybe people that haven't been exposed to that type of culture may not have that empathy. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I do believe too, good mentors and good training in almost anything, can help somebody have a better understanding of certain culture and background.
I think you're right on that.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest challenge facing police officers today, Kent?
The way the culture and media is painting them, it seems like there's such extremes. You see body camera, which we know cameras that they don't lie.
Yes.
But we don't know a lot of the situations that are going on maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes before that.
Before and after, you're right.
That escalates emotions and,
Yes.
and feelings where, police officers, they're human.
Yeah.
We don't know if there's a car chase where the adrenaline's rushing and, they just about took out, somebody at an intersection and, and they get to the other side and they have the person pulled over and, they want to drag them out of the car and throw some cuffs on them. And we don't know a lot of the things that are going on before. We just see the clip like right at the moment of maybe seeing a cop in a bad light, a police officer in a bad light.
What are your thoughts on police accountability and transparency? As parents and as friends, people, we should be held accountable and should be transparent to some degree. How do you feel that applies to police?
Yes. Transparency, accountability, I believe that's essential.
Okay.
For example, I just shared body cam
footage. Yeah, that's right.
Just having what really happened. A lot of times you hear one person's story, getting knocked off a bicycle. You're going to have a cop's story, and then you're going to have my story. But if you have body cam, you're going to say, okay, this is actually what happened. So I think that brings some crystal clear transparency and accountability.
Yeah, but the body cam has probably saved some careers.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to think that had they not had it, we might be looking at different things for the police that are negative. But that body cam gives you a different perspective.
Yeah, there's both extremes. We've seen them in the media.
Yes.
Both extremes going on. But I think that's crucial. But also training, good training, I believe. Having that integrity. I think good influence. Yeah. Having a mentor that, their priority number one is like, hey, let's be honest as we possibly can about this, and having that honesty, that integrity in all their actions and behavior. I believe that breeds through the whole department or police force.
How do you think a police officer's background or upbringing influences their approach to the job?
Background, upbringing, their experiences.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to have some good experiences and some bad experiences with police officers, probably like I have.
Yes.
And so they're going to approach it in a way where, hey, I want to be trained and trained well to handle these extremes.
Yeah.
Because they know scenarios, the extreme scenarios can happen. And I want to be able to respond in a way that's going to be integrity, honest, and there's going to be honesty, there's going to be protection, protecting their fellow officers as well as protecting the public.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What changes, Kent, would you like to see in the relationship between police and the community?
Changes, I believe, presence.
Okay.
Police presence when there's not a crisis. Meaning this, starting from early age in schools. I think that would be so awesome to have that.
Yeah.
When I was a photographer for El Dia down in Houston, I covered a story, and they had this robot, almost lifelike, that was in there that was interacting with the kids, but it was dressed like a police officer.
Okay.
It had the police officers' badges and all that on, and so it was something that the kids were just like, wow, look at this robot. And it was the old style, the type of robot. It wasn't like maybe a modern one.
Yeah.
This was almost 30 years ago when I was covering that. And so I saw the kids' faces light up, and they were looking at police officers in this fresh light, like, wow, it's like, you know, they're here to protect me, they're here to serve me, they're here to be my friend, my helper. And I think going out to the parks, I think even social events where there's not a crisis going on, but there's police
just
presence.
Being present.
Just being around them.
And hanging out.
And having that warmth that, you know, hey, I'm here to, you know, love on you, protect you, and just to be here, not so much as wanting to arrest you, you know, but, you know, you need that too in crisis. You know, a situation where, you know, maybe there's a shooter going on, you need the police come in and be that person that's running towards the fire to protect you. But so I think just by seeing that and covering that when I was a photojournalist and seeing the kids' faces light up in the elementaries, I think that's a good place to start.
Kent, you know what? I look forward to this interview with you. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to get everything rendered and to post it. I think the viewers are really going to enjoy what you've had to say. I can't thank you enough for being here.
My pleasure. And just thank you for what you do. I mean, you're a mentor, you're an influencer, you're somebody that is wanting the police officers or anybody going into criminal justice in that field to be prepared and to know that there's extremes going out there, and I need to be prepared for both of those.
Absolutely.
And so.
All right, Kent, I got to tell you, we had a great conversation. Thank you so much for the opportunity.